Okay. I'll make another. The time now is 6:35 p.m. We have a quorum, and the meeting has been duly posted in accordance with Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code. Good evening and welcome to the regular board meeting of the Dallas Independent School District Board of Trustees. I want to thank everyone for coming this evening. We have taken a moment of silence and we've pledged allegiance to the flag and saluted the Texas flag. Board members present, starting on your left and my right, are Trustee Dan Mitchkay, Second Vice President Elizabeth Jones, First Vice President Lou Blackburn, and Trustee Bernadette Nuttall. Our Superintendent of Schools, Mike Miles, joins us, and I'm Miguel Solis, the Board President. Do we have a translator? Thank you. And trustees, do we see any elected officials who may be in the audience? But we do see a lot of students. Thank you for coming. Okay, at this point, I'd like to recognize some accolades of our district. And the first big accolade is congratulations to Atana King, who's the winner of the 2015 Martin Luther King Jr. Oratory Competition. Atana delivered an inspirational speech during the 23rd annual event at the Majestic Theater last Friday. She's a 5th grade student from John Neely Bryan Elementary. Camilla Mesa, a 5th grade student from Thomas Tolbert Elementary, placed second. Hannah Wesley took 3rd place, and she's a 5th grade student from Charles Rice Learning Center. Congratulations, and I got a chance to view those videos. They were phenomenal. Hats off also to U.S. History teacher Sharifa Nadfir Mason for receiving an award from the Sons of the American Revolution. Ms. Mason was honored with the Tom and Betty Lawrence American History Teacher Award, which recognizes an individual for outstanding instruction on the Revolutionary War era. Ms. Mason is a teacher at Bowd Story Middle School, and as a part of her award, she will travel to the Freedoms Foundation's Summer Teacher Graduate Workshop at Valley Forge, Pennsylvania. Congratulations and good luck on your trip. And also congratulations to Trini Garza, early college high school teacher, for receiving a scholarship from the NFL. Mr. Chad Slaughter, a teacher and a former NFL player, has been awarded the Trust Scholarship. The scholarship, which is presented by the NFL, is worth $20,000. Mr. Slaughter plans to use the scholarship to pursue his master's degree in information systems, which will enable him to teach dual credit classes for Garza and Mountain View College. So congratulations to Mr. Slaughter and good luck. And $20,000, that's not bad at all. And so now it's time in our program where we recognize those students and staff who've made outstanding achievements and or earned significant honors, and those individuals in the community who've made important contributions to Dallas ISD. Do we have any recognitions?
Yes. The month of January is School Board Recognition Month, and this year's theme is A Work of Heart. Trustees, on behalf of Dallas ISD, we want to say thank you for your unwavering service, long hours of voluntary commitments without compensation, and for your hard work and dedication to the children of Dallas ISD. Also, we would like to thank the culinary students from various schools for preparing a wonderful board appreciation dinner for our trustees. Culinary students, please come forward.
And as you come forward, I just wanted to we don't get paid for doing this? That wasn't part of the agreement when we signed? I didn't get the memo on that.
Stop it.
Great service tonight. Are we supposed to take a picture? Are they all lined up? That was good picture. They're gonna
Ready?
Good evening, I'm George Castillo. And I'm Lauren Mora, and we're with the Finance Academy at Woodrow Wilson High School, and we are here with our wonderful teacher, Miss Denise Tucker.
Board Appreciation Month is a unique opportunity to thank board members across the state for their hard work and support for the K-12 education. In Dallas ISD, we have been given an opportunity to say thank you for your support for our career and technical education programs in our district.
To thank you for your hard work, career, and technical education students across Dallas ISD, work to prepare for you this evening a meal and several unique gifts to show our appreciation for the support you give to the programs at our campuses.
The dinner tonight was prepared by culinary arts students at Conrad, Jefferson, Kimball, Molina, Roosevelt, Skyline, and Wilmer Hutchins High Schools.
The hors d'oeuvres. The hors d'oeuvres were prepared by Kimball High School and Roosevelt High School culinary arts students.
The dinner salad was prepared by Townview High School culinary arts students.
The entrees were prepared by Skyline High School and Wilmer Hutchins High School culinary arts students.
The vegetables were prepared by Conrad High School and Molina High School culinary arts students.
The bread and drinks were prepared by Lincoln High School culinary arts students.
The desserts were prepared by Jefferson High School and Skyline High School culinary arts students.
Table service was provided by Kimball High School and the students from our Distinguished Academy of Hospitality and Tourism.
Board gifts were made by students from Molina, Multiple Careers Magnet Center, Seagoville, Skyline, and Woodrow Wilson High Schools.
The programs were made by the Arts and AV students at Molina High School.
The turned pens you received earlier are made from mesquite wood and were made by the construction students at Multiple Careers Magnet Center.
The Texas plaques you received earlier were made by students from Seagoville High School and Woodrow Wilson High School. The Texas plaques were cut out on a plasma table by the Agricultural Science and Natural Resources students at Seagoville High School. And the hearts were made on a 3D printer by the engineering students at Woodrow Wilson High School.
And the floral arrangements were made by the floral design students at Skyline High School.
This year's Board Month theme, A Work of Heart, reflects how we feel about the work each of you do for our career and technical education programs. So from our heart to yours, we would like to thank you for your hard work and support.
Well, we would like to say thank you for all the hard work that you put into this. I'd actually like to give each trustee, if you'd like to say just a quick word of inspiration to the students. But let me start off by saying I also appreciate the fact that all of you have agreed to do this every month, at least once a month. So we'll start with Trustee Mitchke.
Well, this was really very wonderful. I'm ready to have another meal as soon as you guys are ready to come back, maybe next week. You can get back sooner. But thank you. It was delicious, and we really appreciate the other gifts that you've given us. Thank you so much.
I just also want to echo what fabulous talent we have in our culinary programs and also across so many of our different programs that are represented here tonight. I also want to say it is the greatest honor for a trustee to have the very folks we serve, our students, honor us. That, to me, is one of the greatest gifts I've received in a long time. Thank you very much.
I almost feel like the Speaker of the House with this microphone like this. But students, I appreciate all that you do. I learned about the culinary arts programs a few years ago when we had them to come over and serve us a little bit. And then we found out that there were several schools that had culinary arts programs. And I have been advocating, and I am still advocating, I am suggesting that we have a taste of Dallas ISD. Because you in the audience, you didn't get a chance to taste the food. It is great, it's wonderful, and I am still planning to have a taste of Dallas ISD, Iron Chef, cook-off, whatever you want to call it. So look for it. Thank you now, appreciate your work.
I tasted everything, and it was good. I even have some of the recipes or the contact information to get the recipes. So I love programs like this because I know that within a very short time, I'm going to be walking into a restaurant that you guys are going to be running. And there is so much talent here, and thank you so much for sharing that talent with us tonight. You are a very talented and gifted group of young men and women. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I want to thank you, and I want the teachers who work with our students to raise their hands. Who are the teachers? You are, and the students are a work of heart. You are the work of heart because you are working with our best and our brightest, and you guys are our best and our brightest. And the food was wonderful, and I thank you for coming out. I'm honored to serve you. Thank you.
I can't say anything that hasn't already been said. It was delicious. Thank you so much.
And a special shout out to all the woodwork that was done. District 8 is very proud of multiple careers and the work that you all are doing there. So thank you very much. Oh, is it District 4, District 4, District 8? You know what? All of the districts, but especially I want to say thank you because I've seen that in action. And to my fellow colleagues on the board, I want to say thank you to each of you for the work that you do on a daily basis on behalf of the communities that you serve. This isn't an easy job at all. And as was noted, there's no financial benefit to it. The recognition and the perks don't come with the job. But there's no doubt in my mind that every single one of you are phenomenal leaders. You've shown it. And I look forward to continuing to serve with you. So thank you all for your service. We appreciate it.
Thank you, students.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you next month.
So we'll see you. We'll see you next month. We appreciate it.
That's right. There you go.
So as our students file out, I know that there's also one more recognition that the superintendent wanted to make sure we recognized this evening, and so I'll pass the mic over to the superintendent for the recognition.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board, audience. We've had a number of teachers recently graduated from the Texas Tech School of Education Tech Teach 2+1 program. This is a program that the board supported a year ago. We had their first cohort this year as teachers. Prior to that, they did 2 years at a community college and then 1 year with Texas Tech, at least 1 year, and they did student teaching and a semi-residency model where they co-taught and then an additional full year of student teaching. Most of them are bilingual education teachers. Some are special ed or ELL teachers. And I just want to read their names off because this is a novel program, innovative one. We talk a lot about effective teachers in front of every kid. We know that we're in competition with many other places. We know we're also trying to raise the quality of our teaching force, not only through professional development, but also when we recruit. And so if the teacher preparation programs can be as innovative and as rigorous as this one is, I think all of education would be better off. So the teachers in the first cohort who are now working in Dallas ISD are Alexandria Cervantes from Idaho Elementary School, Sandra Castillo from Winnetka, Myra Perez, Lenore Kirk Hall Elementary School, Patricia Jacobo from David Burnett Elementary School, Sylvia Castillo, James Hogg Elementary School, Suye Lopez from Burnett Elementary School, Karen Gonzalez from Jack Lowe Senior Elementary School, Hilda Hasso from Anson Jones Elementary School, Jennifer Stewart, also from Anson Jones Elementary School, Brenda Sanchez, Louise Wolfcon Elementary School, and Kayla Blakely from John Runyon Elementary School. If we could give these folks a round of applause. And there they are. Thank you. Thank you for all your diligence in getting your degree and then choosing us, Dallas ISD, to serve our kids. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Sure, absolutely. Can we work on the mic right over there? Thanks.
Hello? Okay. On behalf of the Texas Tech graduates that are now working for Dallas ISD, we want to say thank you so much. And as a DISD graduate myself from pre-K all the way to 12th grade, I just want to say that thank you for giving us the opportunity to do our student teaching here and going back to the community and giving back to the same school that I went to myself. So I instill that into my students. On the first day that I met them, I let them know that, no matter where you come from, you can do something with your life. You just got to set your mind to it. And I know that we are teaching the future, and we are accepting that challenge very well. So thank you so much, board members.
Well, what school did you go to? What school did you graduate from?
LK Hall, and I'm now teaching there.
Okay, great.
Yes, so I'm excited.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, trustees, why don't we go ahead and begin the evening with the Superintendent of Schools report. Mr. Miles, will you please begin your report? We don't have any sign up for agenda.
Can we go just get them out of the way?
Would you like to?
Yeah.
Okay. Any objections on moving our non-agenda item speakers to the front? No? Okay.
Those that are here.
Is everybody here? Okay, this segment is for non-agenda item speakers who wish to address non-agenda items. Speakers are reminded that they are to address the board and not individual trustees. Ms. Scully, will you please call the speakers' names?
Yes. The Dallas ISD Board of Trustees welcomes citizens, visitors, and employees to its meetings. To hold this meeting in an effective and orderly fashion, we ask members of the public to please conduct themselves appropriately. Any person making personal, rude, disrespectful, or slanderous remarks, or who becomes boisterous while addressing the board shall be removed from the room by the police and security officers at the direction of the presiding officer without additional warning. I would like to remind each speaker that you have 3 minutes to speak. When you arrive at the microphone, please state your name and address. Our first speaker is Sheila Walker, followed by William Hopkins.
Good evening. I'm Sheila Walker, and I reside at 10707 Big Thicket Drive in Dallas, Texas. Tonight, I come to say thank you to the board. It is Board Appreciation Month, but if it wasn't Board Appreciation Month, I want to say thank you for your diligent work and what you did for us for last month when we came and spoke out, when NEA spoke out, and the parents spoke out about the testing and for the lower elementary, for the fine arts. But I ask again about the lower elementary testing for even the ACPs that they're doing end of course or whatever they're doing now, because those tests doesn't matter. I mean, they don't average into anything. And so if we can just let teachers teach, and then also asking as the magnet schools, if we could get the magnet schools back in one division, it works, because we all are doing the same thing. So I do want to say thank you from NEA Dallas, that we do appreciate what you're doing. And so thank you, and I do have a token of our appreciation from our president, Angela Davis, and from our board of directors. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
William Hopkins, followed by Juanita Wallace.
Dr. Solis, I gave you a copy of the lead lawsuit where the city of Dallas and the state of Texas sued the RS lead smelter. And I gave you like a few months, you and Superintendent Miles, a few months to, maybe look it over and see if you can get some help for the children in West Dallas that in this lawsuit had health program. Now, mind you, the same lawsuit, they moved the white people out of the housing authorities due to this lawsuit, Mr. Solis. They moved the Hispanics to Little Mexico due to the same lawsuit I gave you, due to the lead and the contamination and the harm to the people and the children. So I'm here to ask you, Mr. Miles, did you look over the lawsuit? I'm trying to get some help for the blacks. They moved the white people, they moved the Hispanics, and the black children over there is being harmed by the high level of lead. The Dallas Morning News did an article December the 16th, 17th, and the 18th of 2012, and they found high levels of lead in West Dallas. And the children is being harmed. And I asked you about Gabriel Bates, the 11-year-old that's supposed to rape the 3-year-old child. Gabriel was special ed. His mother, I gave you another copy of the Dallas Morning News, where his mother's lead level was 260 something. And the police went to court and told that Gabriel and a 7 and an 8-year-old raped a 3-year-old in West Dallas at Amelia Earhart, but the 7 and the 8-year-old couldn't talk. So the white police officer and nobody from the school and nobody from CPS came to court to say that 7-year-old couldn't talk due to the high levels of lead. And the people at the schools and the principals and the people that represent the children in West Dallas is covering it up by the high levels of lead. And you have children in West Dallas that can't even talk and going to prison. You got white police officers taking special ed children out of school without the parents knowing, without no attorney, and tell them they're going to take them to McDonald's. The white police officer took Gabriel and the 7-year-old to McDonald's after they told them that they had raped this 3-year-old. They was hungry, and they asked them, do you want something to eat? And you want to go home with your mother. You tell us this and we'll let you go home with your mother. And nobody helped him. Dr. Blackburn, I don't know if somebody's paying him, if some white organization, and he's so afraid that he can't say nothing about the children and the blacks being harmed in West Dallas. I don't know if Russell Bud, these lawyers that handle the case and corrupt, and John Wiley Price. I asked the NAACP to help. I asked the black ministers. Nobody helped me with the children that's being harmed in West Dallas. I'm asking you and the Superintendent Miles, can you help me with the children that's being harmed by the lead? And it's a lawsuit to help them with health insurance and everything.
Thank you,
y'all
Mr.
just sitting
Hopkins.
there getting $300,000.
Your time has expired.
I'm asking
Juanita Wallace, followed by Veronica Brooks.
please help me with the children in West Dallas.
Juanita Wallace, Veronica Brooks.
I'm next.
Go ahead, please.
No, I'm next.
Veronica Brooks? No. Delna Bryan.
Good evening. My name is Delna Bryan, 4001 Walnut Hill Lane. I'm a proud AP Spanish Language and Literature teacher at Thomas Jefferson High School. I stand before you secondly as Vice President of Teacher Affairs for NEA Dallas. This is January, the beginning of a new calendar year and the middle of another significant school year. We teachers have benefited from the welcome and well-deserved holiday break. In addition to recharging and spending time with family and friends, many Dallas ISD teachers took time to reflect, to plan, and to make mind course corrections. Because no matter when and where we are, dedicated teachers are a group of men and women who always have space in our minds to focus on our students. Students are the reason we teach, the reason we're here. I come this evening to express hope that we can start afresh for 2015. Hope that there will be mutual respect, trust, and support. Hope that we're valued for contributions that we bring to the schools. Hope that we'll be encouraged to work together. Upon becoming teachers, we set an immediate goal: educate all students. Now, additional specific goals have been set. Among them, raise student achievement, prepare students for college and career through collective input, develop healthy bodies and minds, influence and build character. We want to achieve these goals. To do so, teachers know that every piece of the puzzle is important. As we imagine our classrooms, we breathe, eat, dream ways to help our students excel at all times. This is a new year, and we move quickly. Every minute is precious. All of us have to be able to help when it's needed. Dr. Martin Luther King told us, leadership is ultimately the genuine thing to do. Harmony is the best creative synthesis of opposite and fruitful harmony. It is time for harmony. It is time for healing. It is time to stand as one, united voice, putting students first. We want better education for our students. We want healthy teachers who provide what is needed while working in harmony with trust, respect, and support. It's a new day, a new dawn. We must do it. Thank you.
Our last speaker is Denise Foster.
Hello, Denise Foster, 1646 McManus Drive, Dallas, Texas. I'm an AP English Literature and Composition teacher at Townview Magnet Center. I teach students from law, health, ESSM, and the business magnets there. And what I wanted to speak with you tonight, as the AP leads in the structure of the AP program, which I have been hearing, no verification, that it is being changed. The AP leads have been and should continue to be a key element in our program. They are committed to our students and teachers' success. Without their guidance and support, our current and future enrollment and pass rates will not be sustainable. Since we now have fewer veteran AP teachers in the district, the newer teachers need all of the support we can get. Keep in mind our AP leads provide insight and strategies which have helped many of us become better teachers. Their experience as College Board exam readers is of great value in that they can provide information about exactly what readers want to see in our students' essays. It is due to their efforts that AP enrollment and pass rates have increased every year, and that the program is a model for school districts around the country. Closer to home, school districts such as Richardson, Mesquite, Garland are modeling their programs after ours. As for the AP incentive program, it has not been revealed whether it is ending and if that is the district's or the donor's choice. Either way, this will prove detrimental to the program. Believe it or not, the $100 which passing scorers earn is a huge motivator for our students and teachers alike. The more students we have enrolled in AP, the more college-ready students we graduate. Whether they pass the exam or not, AP courses better prepare our students for the coursework they will receive in college. To a person, my former students who did not pass the exam say they found college English easier than their classmates who did not have AP exposure in high school. Without a strong AP program, we can kiss college readiness goodbye. As for the teacher incentives, obviously, we would like for all those to continue, but great teachers do not teach for that reason. We teach because we love our subject and we're dedicated to our students. However, removing stipends and incentive pay is just another in a long series of actions which send the wrong message to teachers. The message we are receiving is that experience, dedication, and extensive content knowledge do not matter. Please consider the current AP program in place. If that is not possible, please communicate to teachers, students, and parents why it's being changed and why you think your program is better. Thank you.
This concludes our speakers.
Okay, we will begin this evening with the Superintendent of Schools report. Mr. Miles, please begin the report.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. Happy to announce a couple things. One, we did request from Texas Instruments. It's their process for the incentives to continue. We're hopeful that they will. They go through this process every year, same thing. No change from the administration. And so hopefully we'll get the incentives for AP teachers as we have every year. Like I said, I've talked with Ann Pomico myself, and she seems very hopeful that we will get it. The second thing is TEI is moving along apace. It's actually, we're right on the day that the DTR applications are due. The principals did a great job of getting distinguished eligible teachers identified. So by the end of December, they had identified, or by the beginning of September, December 7th, 1,470-some teachers to be eligible for distinguished review. Happy to report that over 1,400 did apply, and as of 5 o'clock or so, 862 had already submitted. And so we know we'll have higher than that, but that's already a really good percentage of teachers who have applied and submitted for distinguished teacher. We'll know tonight, I'm sure there's some teachers feverishly working on their applications as we speak. We have our TEI experts and other supports. They are assigned and they will be up past midnight for any last minute questions. I know there's a number of principals who will be up also, providing that support, coffee, donuts, pizza, whatever it will take to help people finish their applications. It's tough being the first in any new system, especially in a transformative system, and we really appreciate our DTR teachers who are leading the way, and they will set the standard for what distinguished teaching looks like in Dallas ISD, and they are to be commended for just stepping up to the plate, and we appreciate that.
Thank you, Mr. Miles. I think that's phenomenal news. Congratulations to the teachers that were nominated, to those that have submitted their applications, and good luck to those that are continuing to submit theirs. Overall, good luck to every one of them. I think it's phenomenal, and it's going to set a tone for high-quality teaching. So thank you. So now we're on to individual board trustee district reports. Trustees, are there any reports? Trustee Mitchke.
Yes, I would like to thank the Lockwood Meadows Neighborhood Association and the Redeemer Bible Church for hosting a community meeting earlier this week for Superintendent Miles, myself, and Executive Director of the Bryan Adams Feeder Pattern, Jolie Healy. Appreciate the fact that the administration was able to come out and come out in force. Thank you to Dr. Smisko for being there. I think it was a great opportunity for people to ask questions. John Stetler, who is one of the neighborhood leaders over there, did a great job in getting in as many questions as possible. So again, I thank you for that. I would also like to thank the members of the Home Rule Commission. I know they've had a difficult job. They've held a lot of meetings, and I just want to express gratitude for the way they took their mission seriously and conscientiously and with integrity. And I appreciate the fact that some people disagree with the way some people voted. But it is a democracy, and some people think about things one way, and some people think about them another way. And I feel that each of those people, I went to a number of those meetings, took their role seriously, and they've been a credit to our community. I would be remiss if I didn't thank my District 3 Commissioner, Jeff Veazey, for the work that he's done, as well as all of the other commissioners. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Trustee Mitchke. Trustee Jones.
Well, first I want to thank the administration and the superintendent. We held a town hall meeting the other night at Anne Frank Elementary to address the growth and the related changes that are happening north of 635. We invited all of our schools. We have 4 schools that are north of 635 to talk about the future and to also look at how we start to blend choice around growth so we can meet the needs of communities that continue to increase in size and also in geography. Really want to say that these town halls are a great opportunity for us to not only engage with parents, but to hear from them about what it is that they would like to see for their children. I want to thank particularly Anne Frank's principal for hosting us and reminding us that this is a large district, and schools such as Anne Frank, which is nearly 1,200 elementary students, do exist in our district, and we do need to make sure we continually support them. I'd also like to point out that we're going to have another town hall meeting coming up on February the 5th at Walker Middle School, and invite our W.T. White feeder as well as those from the area in and around, so including the Thomas Jefferson feeder, to take part in that opportunity to engage with the superintendent, myself, and other members of the community. We did invite, just so I make sure to emphasize this, our council people as well as our neighboring jurisdictions to take part. We do want to engage the whole community, and that includes our leadership. So Councilman Lee Kleiman joined us at the meeting this last week. I'd also like to give a shout out to the students who all participated at the UT Southwestern Stars Division STEM Day that happened last Saturday. We had hundreds of students there. It was remarkable to see the work that they're doing, the student projects in science, and it was truly a fabulous event hosted by UT Southwestern on their campus, and a superb opportunity for our kids to be recognized for the fine work they're doing in the STEM areas. I also want to remind everybody that on the 31st of this month at Skyline High School, they will be hosting the STEM Day, and that will be district-wide, and that will be an opportunity for the students who won in their divisions to advance to the next level before going to our regional competition. I'd also like to celebrate the Martin Luther King Day holiday by first recognizing Walker Holman. He's a 5th grader at Harry Withers Elementary. He was a finalist in the 2015 Gardere MLK Oratory Competition, but I certainly would like to commend all of the students, and especially the winner, for their incredible speeches that were not only inspiring, but reminding us that our kids do have an eye on the future, and they're watching us. I'd also like to honor our George Bannerman Dealey art teacher, Matt Mazur. He wrote an article for the January 2015 issue of Arts and Activities magazine. It is incredible that we have teachers who are recognized by their peers and also are out in the broader community, constantly fine-tuning their craft. I'd also like to say thank you to the counselors at Walnut Hill Elementary and Thomas C. Marsh Middle School. They were among their peers at 22 Dallas ISD schools to receive the prestigious CREST Award. For those of you that don't know what that is, it's the Counselors Reinforcing Excellence for Students in Texas Award. The Texas School Counselor Association will recognize these counselors at the CREST Award Luncheon on February 9th in Galveston. Again, congratulations for their fine work. And lastly, I would also like to thank the Home Rule Commission members. I'd like to also point out that even though it may seem as though the board had a heavy hand in their appointment, we did not. The state first mandates that at least 4 of the members of that commission be teachers and administrators who are picked by the district, not by this board. Of the other 11 members, 8 had to be parents. And as you know, our parents in our districts are those that are there with us as our partners, as our representatives for our students, to help guide us to be the best district we can be. So we did entrust to 15 members of a commission the opportunity to hear from the broader community and to recognize democracy in action by being an independent body that came to their own conclusions. I'd also like to thank my appointee, well, 2 actually, Kevin Melanson, as well as Chair Bob Weiss. It was, I think, a really great example of an independent, outgoing, community-facing opportunity for discussion. This board, this body, I know with the opportunity we now have to learn not only what are best practices and better ways that we can govern this district, but also the ideas that can help make us more effective and have the opportunity to have greater impact on behalf of our students. So I am looking forward to this body taking not only many of the recommendations, but also building on what has been put forth, and the time is now. I do not think it takes any kind of charter for us to do the right thing, and I welcome further conversations and proactive action toward those actions that we feel will help move the needle and drive student achievement. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Jones. I know that Trustee Foreman was out. Would you like to, we're on district reports.
Thank you. A very quick report. Just listening to Trustee Jones, it just reminds me of what a democracy looks like. I am quite pleased with what happened with the Home Rule Charter, and I think that as I sit around this horseshoe on a monthly basis, I'm pleased with working with my fellow trustees, and that it is important for us to understand that governance doesn't start by changing who you are. It starts by representing the people who put you in place. And I am elated to be a representative for 160,000 students, and also to know that we had a 15-member commission that came to an independent decision on what is best needed for this district. And while I understand the governance issue, I think the most important issue that we should be thinking about is how do we move these students forward? We've spent enough time on the governance issue. Let's move on. And I'd like to, just in closing, say that I did not get a chance to attend the Martin Luther King oratorical contest, but it is really exciting to know that Trustee Nuttall, Trustee Blackburn, and myself actually had an opportunity to have students that won. And that's very exciting to me, because not only does it give kids an opportunity to realize the importance of the dream, it gives them an opportunity to be able to express their feelings about the dream. And the dream does live.
Thank you, Trustee Foreman. Trustee Blackburn?
We've heard talk about the month of January being for Board Appreciation Month. I want to thank all of my colleagues on the board for serving with me, and I know that we sometimes disagree, but I think in the end we're on the same page as far as wanting to do what is best for our 160,000 plus students that we serve. I want to thank Mike Murat for your service to the board. Bernadette, Feisty Bernadette, I want to appreciate your service to the board. Nancy, you've been here almost as long as I have, and it's been good serving with you. I want to continue with that. Miguel, you're one of the newest ones to the board, and want to appreciate you for your service and your leadership right now. Elizabeth, you've only been here less than one term, but you've brought a lot of insight to the board, a lot of things for us to think about, and I appreciate that. Dan the man is always kind of a quiet person, but I like having the conversations with Dan, because he gives me even more to think about as I try to be more like Henry Kissinger. And it's a board joke. And Joyce Foreman, I think many people know that Joyce and I have not always been on the same page. She has not always liked me, but at one time she really did, I think. But I appreciate her being on the board. I appreciate her fight that she gives for the students and for her district. As a whole, this board, I think, is working for the same end goal. We want the best for our students. We want to have the best teachers and the best principals. How we get there, we may not all agree, but in the end, we all want to get to the same goal. Trustees, I hope that we can go down the field, reach our goal together. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Blackburn. Trustee Bingham?
Yeah, there's several things going on in District 4. First off, I would like to thank the District 4 Home Rule Commission appointee Ricardo Mendez for serving the community of District 4 on the commission. In Sigerville High School and Sigerville Middle School will be participating in a federal grant through Texas Tech University. This grant will assist math teachers in grades 6 to 9 with targeted and specific feedback. Texas Tech has aligned their program to the district's instructional framework, so teachers will hear the same language when receiving instructions instructional feedback. The outcome is to improve the instructional practices of our teachers, thus improving the academic achievement of our students in math grades 6 to 9. And we saw an example of another partnership with Texas Tech tonight with our new incoming teachers. So thank you, Texas Tech, for partnering with us. Also, in the spring in the Sigerville cluster, the 5th and 8th grade students will take a tour of the Sigerville Environmental Center. It is our plan to create a cross-curricular lesson for the 5th and 8th graders so they can spend the entire day at the center, explore it, and to lost my place here, explore it and what science has to offer, receiving their math, reading, language arts, and history lessons as well. So it'll be a full-day activity for those kids. Jumping over to the Samuel feeder pattern, Samuel would like to brag that they have the second highest climate scores of all the comprehensive high schools. They're very proud of that. And Elizabeth, they also want in District 2 Division that they are on target for the highest projected graduation rate, even higher than W.T. White. So this is a challenge slap down here. Let's see who comes out on top. John Quincy Adams. Okay. Also in the Samuel feeder pattern, John Quincy Adams is one of 24 elementary schools in the United States selected as a finalist in the 2015 National Excellence in Urban Education Award. Among the thousands of urban schools throughout the nation, John Quincy Adams was one of the few able to document that they met all the rigorous criteria for the National Excellence in Urban Education Award. And they also have a site visit scheduled for tomorrow. And also, this just in from Sigerville High School, they took the silver medal today at the UIL debate competition, and they will move to the state championship in May. So congratulations to the debate team at Sigerville High School.
All right. Thank you, Trustee Bingham. Trustee Nuttall?
Good afternoon. I also would like to thank my commission member, Ms. Shirley Isom Newsom, for her service and commitment to the students of Dallas ISD in this community. Charles Rice, 5th grader Hannah Wesley, won $200 and a third-place medal in the annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Oratorical Competition held at the Majestic Theater last Friday. Hannah was honored for reciting her original essay about Dr. King. What would Dr. King say in his acceptance speech if he were alive today and won the Nobel Peace Prize? Kudos to Paul Lawrence Dunbar Learning Center. They was recently honored Texas PTA's winter membership. Congratulations to 28 counselors of District 9 schools who received the CREST Award. Recognizing the role and grandparents play in the lives of our students, we have a lot of grandparents raising our students. Charles Rice Learning Center, which was wonderful, hosted and had more than 300 grandparents this last month. And a great example of impact the faith community can make in the lives of our students. Thanks and kudos to St. Luke Community United Methodist Church. Your church, Trustee Foreman, has pledged 150 members who will soon begin serving as volunteer mentors in District 9 schools. Billy O'Day, Lincoln, and Madison, Dunbar, J.J. Rose, and Charles Rice. So thanks to all the work of our community and our parents.
Thank you, Trustee Nuttall. Trustee Morath? Okay, report from District 8. I want to build off of something that Trustee Jones has already announced, the CREST Award, the Counselors Reinforcing Excellence for Students in Texas Award. Counselors have a tremendous job, and they do a ton of work. And on from February the 2nd to the 26th, we celebrate them. It's National School Counselors Week. So for the District 8 counselors that won the CREST Award, let's see, that would be Miss Juanita Beck from John F. Kennedy Learning Center and Mr. Todd Bingham from Obadiah Knight Elementary. I would just like to say thank you for your service, and thank you to all counselors, and I hope that you enjoy the National School Counselors Week. The second thing I'd like to add from District 8 is we have a lot of community meetings that will be happening. One will be happening at John F. Kennedy Learning Center. That community meeting is actually going to be a family math night, and it'll happen on January the 29th. From 6 to 7:30 p.m. All families are invited. Sam Houston Elementary will host a community meeting on January the 29th from 6 to 7 p.m. Mount Auburn Elementary will hold a parent meeting on January the 29th from 8:15 to 9:15 a.m. for all school parents. And they invite you to come and interact with both the principal and the staff. And last but not least, and this is a district announcement, the district STEM Day will be held on Saturday, January 31st from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Children can explore their inner scientist, and I hope that we will have some trustees that will go. I won't be able to go because I'll be out of town, but I'd love to know how that goes. To register for the STEM Day, you can visit www.dallasisd.org. I'd also like to send a personal thanks to the administration, the North Texas Dream Team and the Dallas Hispanic Bar Association are conducting free community clinics for any individuals, parents, or students who may be impacted by the recent executive action President Obama took as it related to DACA and DAPA. And I know that the administration has offered to house some of those free community clinics after schools, after hours. So I'd just like to say thank you for doing that. And I hope to attend many of those. And I would invite all trustees to attend at least one as well, because I think there's a lot of information out there to be learned, so we can begin to disseminate this information to any parents or students who may have questions for us or questions for schools. And then the last thing I'd like to say, as it relates to home rule, I would like to definitely say thank you to the District 8 Representative, Danae Gutierrez. When I appointed her, I knew I had a statutory responsibility to appoint, but I wanted to make sure that I thought really hard about who I would appoint. She's done a phenomenal job. She's a PTA president. She does all sorts of things at Seattle Elementary, and I think she did a phenomenal job and is continuing to do a phenomenal job as the District 8 representative. But I'd also like to share a congratulations and thanks to Mr. Bob Weiss, who was chairing these meetings from the beginning. I think he's done, it hasn't been easy. This is the first time that home rule has ever happened in the state. And for what he was given, I think he's done a very good job leading those meetings and trying to ensure that everyone had a voice at the table, regardless of what your opinions were, and regardless of what your thoughts were on particular issues as they relate to DISD. I'm looking forward to their any suggestions that they may have. I'm sure the board is as well, and we look forward to continuing the conversation and moving this district forward. Thank you also again. I'd like to reiterate, I don't have the pizzazz like Dr. Blackburn when it comes to describing everybody, but I will say thank you again to the trustees. You do phenomenal work. I'm inspired by you on a daily basis. I look forward to continuing to work with you and figure out how we can continue to move this district forward. Trustees, we're now on to the minutes submitted for approval. The following minutes are board meeting December 18th, 2014. Do I have a motion? It's moved by Trustee Bingham, and do I have a second? Seconded by Dr. Blackburn. Trustees, are there any corrections? Okay. Seeing no corrections, trustees, please cast your votes.
The motion passes 8-0.
You've just adopted the motion, thereby approving the minutes as submitted. This evening, we have consent agenda items 8A.1 through 8A.36 as amended. The following consent agenda items have been pulled for a separate vote: 7A2, 7A3, 7A4, 7A5, 7A6, 7A11, 7A12, and 7A14. Do I have a motion on the consent agenda as amended?
So moved.
It's moved by Trustee Bingham and seconded by Trustee Jones. Trustees, please cast your votes.
Okay. The motion passes 8-0.
You've just adopted the motion, thereby approving the consent agenda as amended. We'll now move to the items pulled for separate vote, beginning with 8A1, to approve the amendments to Board Policy CHE, Local Purchasing and Acquisition Vendor Relations. This is the second read, sponsored by Jim Terry, our Chief Financial Services Officer, and Mike Singleton, our Chief Internal Audit. Consent item number 2, pulled by Trustees Joyce Foreman and Bernadette Nuttall. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Bingham, and a second? Second. Moved by Trustee Blackburn. Trustees, is there any discussion?
I have a question.
Okay, Trustee Nuttall.
Jim, on page 1 of 7, the only thing we're changing is the Office of Internal Audit, so all complaints will go to the Office of Internal Audit, because at one point we had a couple places, so it's just the only thing we're changing.
Yes, the wording changing from Office of internal audit is inserted and takes place with professional responsibility, OPR. OPR, as you know, was probably over a year ago now, was collapsed into the internal audit department.
So is the other policy that dealt with how to report, is that coming back to the board?
I believe it is, yes.
So this, okay.
Okay. Trustees, any other questions? Hearing no questions, trustees, please cast your votes.
Motion passes 8-0.
Just adopted the motion, thereby approving the amendments to Board Policy CHE Local Purchasing and Acquisition Vendor Relations. We're on to item 8A2, to ratify the amount of bills, claims, and accounts for November 1st, 2014 to November 30th, 2014. Consent item number 3, pulled by Trustees Joyce Foreman and Bernadette Nuttall. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Bingham, and a second? Seconded by Trustee Blackburn. Trustees, is there any questions? Trustee Foreman.
Jim,
Yes.
on the first page of the bills and claims, it talks about legend 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 at the bottom. And I'm trying to discern if those amounts are in the total amount of the bills and claims, or if that's something separate.
I'm not following. What page are you on?
Okay.
Yes, those are included, and what we do is we break those out, the amounts of bills and claims. And what it does is it lists the funds there that they're in. 622 bond programs, so they're bond funds.
So they are included, I didn't quite hear you.
They're included in those particular funds, not in the general fund.
So is it included in the total?
No.
So those are additional funds that are not included in the total?
I believe so. I will double check on that, but I believe so. That's the case.
Okay, because that's a little confusing to me, because if that's not the total, I'm looking for the overall total.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Trustees, any other questions? Hearing no questions, trustees, please cast your votes.
Mr. Moran. Motion passes, 7 voting yes and 1 voting no.
Trustees, you just adopted the motion, thereby approving to ratify the amount of bills, claims, and accounts for November 1st, 2014 to November 30th, 2014. We're now on to item 8A3, to approve applications and accept grant funds for January 2015, not to exceed $162,739,046 from special revenue funding sources. Consent item number 4, pulled by Trustees Joyce Foreman and Bernadette Nuttall. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Bingham, and a second? By Dr. Blackburn. Trustees, is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, trustees, please cast your votes.
Motion passes 8-0.
You've just adopted the motion, thereby approving the applications and accepting the grant funds for January 2015, not to exceed $162,739,046, special revenue funding sources. We're now to item 8A4, to approve the monthly financial reports and the monthly tax report for the period ending November 30th, 2014. Consent item number 5, pulled by Trustees Joyce Foreman and Bernadette Nuttall. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Bingham, and a second. Seconded by Dr. Blackburn. Trustees, any discussion?
Yes.
Okay, Trustee Foreman.
Jim,
Yes.
something that I've continued to mention for the last 3 months at least is that we still show we're working on a deficit of $25 million.
Correct.
And what you tell me each month is that that's going to change.
It-
Can you
it-
tell me
yes.
when?
Well, it will change in that as we bring budget amendments, it will increase that deficit. And right now, we're in the process of working on our revenue forecast for this year, which we also know will change. And we hope to bring that to you by the beginning of March. So you'll have a better idea as exactly what that bottom line will be. And we try to bring that in March so that as we enter into the budgeting process, you know what is going to be dropping or not dropping to the bottom line so that we can build the budget for next year.
I get the budget next year. I'm thinking budget this year.
Right, and we are working on the revenue estimate for this year. We've been working on that as we talk.
And you're going to bring something to us in March?
Yes, I believe we'll be ready in March. So at the end of, we have got to have that ready by the end of February to put it on the March agenda.
Okay, trustees, any other questions? Hearing none, please cast your votes.
Motion passes, 7 voting yes and 1 voting no.
You've just adopted the motion thereby approving the monthly financial reports and the monthly tax. I think I'm talking about the right thing. Yes, I am. The monthly tax report for the period ending November 30th, 2014, consent item number 5, pulled by trustees Joyce Foreman and Bernadette Nuttall. Now we're on to item 8.5 to approve the budget amendments for January 22nd, 2015. Consent item number 6, pulled by trustees Bernadette Nuttall and Joyce Foreman. Trustees, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Bingham, and a second? Second by Dr. Blackburn. Trustees, is there any discussion?
No, I have a question.
Okay, we're going to start with trustee Nuttall and then trustee Foreman.
Jim, can you, the 43 schools, can you clarify what the literacy libraries in the spring of 2015, what is the difference? What is that? And I didn't see the list of 43 schools.
We have the expert coming to the podium here.
Okay. I don't have the list of 43 schools with me, but what we're trying to do with this funding is we had a 3-year plan to put a literacy library in every elementary school, and we had done year 1 and year 2. That's finished already. We were planning to do the final schools next year with next year's budget, but we just really wanted to get those literacy libraries in every single elementary this year. So with this, if you approve this, we'll have the funding to finish out all elementary schools will have their literacy library.
So every elementary school?
Yes, ma'am.
Will receive one?
Yes, ma'am.
And so what is the difference between that and the regular?
The literacy libraries are geared towards the reading program so that they are leveled readers so that kids that are learning to read have different levels of text. The stories have easier words for the lower levels of literacy and more progressively complex vocabulary and words.
So each teacher, how does it work? Because I know the level readers like you bring them home in pre-K, kinder and first, and each teacher normally gets a set.
Yeah, that's a little bit different. This is a library for the school. So it's a campus-based library, so all the different teachers can use it. And so it's in addition to the leveled readers that you're thinking of.
So we're buying more on top of what we already...
We're buying additional materials for kids to have multiple kinds of reading materials as they're learning to read.
Okay. And so this will
finish out all the elementary campuses.
So every elementary
will have the literacy library, leveled libraries, whatever we
centralized.
Call this. Yes, ma'am.
For the spring of 2015.
Yes.
And then I'm just trying to understand, I know we're getting ready to go in the budget. So this specialist 2, volunteer and partnership service, is that coming out of administration? Because I see general administration 65.
Yes, it is. Function 41.
Function 41. So we're trying to hire that for the rest of this year?
Correct.
Okay. And then the $25 million that we put for the Dallas education, I was trying to capture that. Where is it on the... Where do we have
the $25 million for the administrative building?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, look at the first page and look at the second column. It says...
right there, 25,952.
No. No, that's not it. Let's see. Okay, you cannot see it on this page. It's in the balance sheet. That $25 million that you're looking on the third column, the current budget, is the budget that we're currently in deficit, which is, as Ms. Foreman had pointed out, is running $26 million into our fund balance. The $25 million is part of the signed fund balance. So if you look at the second column, or the column just to the left, it says 2014-15 original budget. And if you come off of the very last number there, the unassigned fund balance, and go up 2 numbers. And it says here, the assigned fund balance of $175 million. That includes $143 million for the QSCB bonds, and then the $25 million for the administrative building, and there's some other money in there.
So our unassigned fund balance is 158.
The unassigned fund balance, correct, is 158. And the assigned fund balance is, you can see, 175.
And the 342 is the beginning fund balance, but
Well, the 342 is essentially the total fund balance collapsed together and not disaggregated. And so what I've done is I've showed you in this, so you can see that when you disaggregate it, that if you take the assigned fund balance, the non-spendable fund balance, and the unassigned fund balance, that all should add up to the 342.
okay.
Okay.
So it's 158.
Good. Trustee Foreman, and then...
Yes. Jim, you started to talk a little bit about what I was going to ask, and that's about the beginning fund balance and what the unassigned fund balance is. And that unassigned fund balance is $158,942,000.
Million.
Does that include the deficit of the 25 million, or is an additional 25 million taken from that 158 million?
No, if you go to the last column on there, it says budget amendment, January, you will see that the 342 is now dropped down to 316. So that is where the 25 or 26 million is showing up in terms of our deficit. So it would drop down to 342 beginning fund balance. If in fact we ended up with a $26 million deficit, we would end up with the fund balance of 316 million.
Okay, so if we ended up with a fund balance of 316 million, we wouldn't have an unassigned balance of 158 million. Is that a better way?
That is correct.
Is that a better way to ask the question?
That's exactly right. So if you took the 158 and subtracted out the 26 million, then you would have what is left in the unassigned.
125 million.
Yeah, right, correct.
Or something of that sort.
Correct.
That was the question
Correct.
I needed.
Correct.
Dr. Smith, could I ask you a question, please?
Yes, ma'am.
When you talked about the 43 schools for the centralized library?
Yes, the literacy libraries.
Yeah, it would be really important for me. I don't know how many elementary schools we have, 120 something?
147.
147. And so there are actually 43 schools that have not been
Not yet.
done yet.
Not yet.
So it would be really important for me to know which 43 have not been
Are
done.
the remaining, I'll be happy to provide that.
And it would be good to know incrementally which schools got it first and how we rolled that out, because
Yes, ma'am.
I'd just like to know that.
Absolutely, we'll have that.
For me specifically. Okay, thank you.
Okay, hold on one second, trustees. Any other questions before we go to... Okay, Trustee Nuttall?
Jim, the 627,000, what are you taking that out of? Is it
Fund balance.
fund balance? Because when I look at December the 18th, 2014 budget amendment, it
Yes.
said the ending balance was 158,942, and now the ending unassigned fund balance is 158,942. I don't see on January the 627. So where does that reflect? That reflect in February?
I don't disaggregate the number on the far right. I leave the original budget and showing the audited numbers on the left side, because the problem is if you go to the right column, which is showing, the current ending fund balance with the 26 million, I know that as we progress through the years, progress through the months, that it's going to rise the deficit, and then when we do the adjustment, we'll lower that. And so in a certain sense, a budget is not stagnant. It moves as we change programs and staffing and tweak it for our needs. So I only show what the disaggregate of the fund balance is for the very beginning.
Okay, so the general administration, when you say you're taking out, so we're taking that 627 out of fund balance.
Correct.
So we don't, are we over budget in the budget that we approved?
Yes.
In that function code 41?
Well, the original budget
was 46.
Okay, we are now $26 million from the original budget. But remember, that's why we bring it to you, is because you're approving what we call the current budget.
But I was just looking at the general administration, and then I'm looking at instruction. So I was just looking at where we're spending our dollars. So this is, so we're over budget from general administration. Is what you're saying. Is that correct?
I think the answer to that is no. I'm not sure I understand your question.
General administration includes...
Function 41.
21.
Oh, 21.
So 11 is instruction. So I'm looking that we're over. We originally budgeted 46 million. We're at 48 million in December. Then I'm looking now, we went up to 49 million in general administration.
Okay, you're talking about function 41,
Yeah,
right?
41.
Okay. Right. The original budget for function 41 was 48 million.
46.
Oh, was it 46? Okay.
Yeah, 46 million.
I forgot to wear my bifocals. And then the current budget that you all have approved is up to 49. After this budget amendment, it actually will become less because we're reducing it by 200,000.
Reducing the general administration by 200,000?
Yes.
And reducing it by not filling positions?
No, the reason it's reduced is that column there that says balance neutral transfers. Remember, we budget in, May, June. You approve the budget in May.
I know.
And, what departments are going to spend on sometimes isn't exactly, and they need to move it, and especially campuses. Campuses may need to move it. And so we have a transfer process, and if you notice it says balance neutral transfers. So all those transfers, we get about 700 transfers a month, transfers between different account lines, but doesn't change the bottom line. This bottom line has really been changed in what is called change to current budget, which is the column further to the left.
I just see that, so 810 is coming out of instruction to transfer that over to somewhere, correct? It's a decrease in instruction, and it's balance neutral transfer, 810,000.
Actually, in this one, it is taking 565, that's about the middle column, and it's going to increase that amount for function 12, which is for media services, which is the libraries. It's going to increase it by $565,000.
Mr. Terry, I was just asking on instructions. Are we decreasing instruction by 810,000?
We are moving...
decreasing instruction by 810,000.
Well, in this particular month, we are reducing the function 11 by 228,000.
And that's instruction, correct?
Correct.
And last month, we reduced instruction by 810,000.
Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head.
I'm just saying instruction. Instruction covers how we, so I'm just looking at, we're decreasing instruction, but then we're increasing 41. So I was just following instructions.
Okay, I see what you're doing. You're just looking at the transfers between.
The transfers between, and you're decreasing in instruction.
Yes, function 11 is being decreased.
Okay,
correct.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Trustee Jones.
Just a quick question, Dr. Terry, on the debt service. I see that there's been adjustment going to page, I guess it's 4, and I'm presuming that some of that is the captured savings we just did in terms of our refunding. Why the number's lower for this year?
No, I think that hasn't been captured because we just sold those bonds, I believe about 2 weeks ago this month, and you'll notice that these are for the budget amendment, I believe is the budget amendment January 22nd, but it's for the end of November. We tend to run behind because of the speed of our books. Now, we do provide you this month, you should receive the book closing for December. But these are for November's.
Yeah, I just wanted to get clarity because I was thinking it would be a much larger number. But again, congratulations on not only timing the market right, but capturing the maximum savings. So
thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, trustees, please cast your votes.
The motion passes 7 voting yes and 1 voting no.
You just adopted the motion, thereby approving the budget amendments for January 22nd, 2015. Our next item is 8A6, to authorize, negotiate, and enter into a contract with Cogent Communications Incorporated for Internet access services for district-wide use, not to exceed $2,600,000 over 5 years, 3 years with 2 one-year renewal options, general operating special revenue funds, E-rate eligible. Consent item number 11, pulled by trustees Bernadette Nuttall and Joyce Foreman. Trustees, who have a motion? Moved by trustee Bingham, and a second?
Second.
Seconded by Dr. Blackburn. Trustees, is there discussion? Yes. Okay, trustee Nuttall.
Just trying to get understanding of, we just had signed a contract with Tel West, so we're ending that contract and going with this internet service.
Yes, ma'am, that contract expires 30 June of this year.
Of this year?
Correct. So this will be replacing it for the next 3 to 5 years.
So the contract we signed December 2012 to 2013, 2013, 2014, so it ends this year. So so we're requesting additional we want 746 million, or 746,000.
On the current contract, we brought a board amendment to increase the amount on that contract so we could make it through this year to pay for the increases in the internet traffic.
How is this going to impact schools? Is it going to be easy transfer, or how is it going to be impacted?
It'll be totally transparent. And it'll be this change also will be, when we went back out for RFP for the new services, we actually will be getting twice the bandwidth at half the cost. So really we cut the price by 75%.
So are they the only ones that applied for it, or?
No, it was a competitive process, and these folks won.
So it's going to be, okay.
Okay, trustee Foreman.
Hi, Greg.
Hi.
You say that the current contract that we have will end on June the 30th of this year?
Yes, ma'am.
And when does the new contract begin?
1 July.
July 1?
Correct.
And the previous contract, I can't remember, I'm getting a little older. You said that we extended the contract, there was a...
No, we didn't extend it, we added money to it.
So when we added money to it, so we had used all the money that we had in the previous contract?
Correct. Well, we didn't run out, we were getting close, and we increased the amount to make sure we didn't run out. So we've been increasing the bandwidth every year, and that costs more money.
Okay. And you say what the bandwidth is on this current contract, the new one that you're wanting us to approve? Is
right. The replacement contract, which starts 1 July, the other one expires 30 June. So this keeps the internet bandwidth going for the district. Starting 1 July, will be double. We'll be getting double the capacity at half the price.
What's the current capacity?
The current capacity is just hitting 10 gig.
And so we'll be getting 20 gig.
20 gig, correct.
Thank you.
Okay, trustees. Trustee Jones.
Can you explain the E-rate component here and what, based on the eligibility, what we can expect?
Well, this is a Pri 1 service, so it's pretty much guaranteed funding, and we'll get the district refund, which would be about 88% refund.
Based on the new formulas?
Correct.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Trustees, please cast your votes.
The motion passes 8-0.
You just adopted the motion, thereby approving to authorize, negotiate, and enter into a contract with Cogent Communications Incorporated for Internet access services for district-wide use, not to exceed $2,600,000 over 5 years, with 3 years with 2 one-year renewal options. General operating special revenue funds, E-rate eligible. Our next item is 8A7, to authorize, negotiate, and enter into a contract with NCS Pearson Incorporated for Chancery Student Management System and Grade Speed software licenses, including maintenance, updates, and technical support for district-wide use, not to exceed $1,800,000 over 27 months from the general operating funds. Consent item number 12, pulled by trustees Bernadette Nuttall and Joyce Foreman. Do I have a motion? Moved by trustee Bingham, and a second?
Second.
By Dr. Blackburn. Trustees, is there discussion? All right, trustee Nuttall.
Great. I'm trying to understand, because Chancery is really big, we depend on it for grade speed and a whole lot. So I'm trying to understand, it says we either intend to either have new system in place to replace these two Pearson applications, or to have resources in place to support and manage the existing application independently. So how are we planning toward the future with paying for this? We extended it $1.8 million, and then the costs to ensure that our teachers have the right support and for student systems. What are we doing?
Right. We have a working group that's being put together to across the district, including all functional areas, and including campuses, to determine just what our course should be as far as selecting another product to replace the Chancery SMS product, which is basically end of life. So there will be a lot more information coming here to the board as we get further along in the process. It's just initiating right now.
Did we know that Pearson just make this decision all of a sudden, or did we know some years ago, or they just getting out the business?
We found out sometime right before the summertime, and then since then we've been trying to figure out. We asked them to provide a bid as far as what they're going to do to support us in the future. They've offered for us, they've given us their other product for free, Power School, but we're not sure that's what we want. But
because we've spent $13 million. I think it's about $13 million.
Right.
For that from 2008 to date.
Approximately, yes, ma'am.
And then on the $13 million, we're adding this $1.8 million.
Well, this is just, there's nothing that's changed. Our annual maintenance on Chancery is roughly around $700,000. So they've basically agreed to will contract to provide that support for the next 2 years, and that'll give us the opportunity to find another product.
So for now. Okay. You had some, Frank?
Yeah, that's on top of your 13 million right now. It'll be the 1.8 on top of
so
that.
So 13 million on top of the 1.8, and then in 2 years we'll start all over again with a new system.
Correct. Well, maybe not. We'll see. They're giving us the source code, so if we decide to continue it internally, that is an option.
What's tied to Chancery that teachers use? I know grade speed. What else?
I'm sorry?
Well, Chancery SMS is our student information system, so that's the repository of all things student. Also included with the SMS, they're ending their grade speed product, which includes our grade book and our parent portal. So all that will be somehow addressed in the next couple of years.
Are we addressing it now?
Well, that's what we're doing.
This is major.
It is, it's very major.
Okay, so explain to me the R12. The R12, is that
Our R12 is a totally different product.
totally different? So Chancery is gonna, okay.
Trustee Foreman? Okay. All right, trustees, any other questions? Please cast your votes.
The motion passes 8-0.
You've just adopted the motion, thereby approving to authorize, negotiate, and enter into a contract with NCS Pearson Incorporated for Chancery Student Management System and Grade Speed software licenses, including maintenance, updates, and technical support for district-wide use, not to exceed $1,800,000 over 27 months from the general operating funds. And our last item is 8A8, to authorize the abandonment purchase of portions of Wheelock Street, formerly Womack Court, for the new Jose Joe May Elementary School site, not to exceed $123,478 from bond funds. Consent item number 14, pulled by trustees Joyce Foreman and Bernadette Nuttall. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Jones, and a second? Second. Seconded by Dr. Blackburn. Trustees, any discussion?
Yes.
Okay, trustee Nuttall.
Thank you, Wanda, for the two questions I just saw it on my email. But my third one is the property that we purchased.
Yes.
What is the status of that property?
Well, we still own the property and we maintain it.
We maintain it. Are we looking to sell it or?
Not at this time.
Okay. So is that included in the total cost, that property and what we bought to build?
No, I think it's two separate.
It's two separate?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Trustee Jones?
I just want to thank the team. I know it's been a very quick set of actions to make sure that as we move to a new location and we got everything moving forward, that you guys have done an excellent job in being very proactive in getting all the parcels, which were a lot of them, consolidated, the opportunity for us to start our building plan sooner, and in doing so, meaning we can open a school that is desperately needed to relieve overcrowding at a number of schools in the TJ feeder pattern. So I just want to, it's another opportunity for me to sneak one in here and say thank you for all the hard work. And I would echo Trustee Nuttall's comments. I mean, we're sitting on a piece of land in a completely different place that we invested quite a bit of money in. At some point, we should have some degree of a strategy of what to do with it or free up the funds, because that money is certainly needed elsewhere. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Jones. Quick question, Wanda.
Yes.
So when does the actual construction begin?
Well, we just completed the demolition, so we had to prep the site, so we should start that shortly.
Okay, great.
Okay, we'll make sure we keep you informed on
And
that
Ed,
too.
I always got to thank you for all the work that you do. It could have been better work, but you're doing a good job.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
And the groundbreaking for the property will be in March.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks, Ed, for all the work that you do. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Wanda. Okay, trustees, please cast your votes.
Motion passes 8-0.
You just adopted the motion, thereby approving to authorize the abandonment purchase of portions of Wheelock Street, formerly Womack Court, for the new Jose Joe May Elementary School site, not to exceed $123,478 in bond funds. And trustees, we are past the non-agenda items, speakers, and this concludes our agenda for the evening. So I want to thank everyone for... Sure.
Could I make one statement? In my haste to get back in here, I was remiss in thanking my commissioner, DeMarcus Ranger, for doing an excellent job on the Home Rule Charter Commission, and I could not leave here tonight without stating it publicly how much I appreciate the work that he did. Thank you.
Yep, thank you, Trustee Foreman. And again, thank you to all trustees as we celebrate the end of Board Recognition Month. I'm looking forward to the food next month from the students. This concludes our agenda for the evening. I want to thank everyone for coming. The time now is 8:03 p.m. and this meeting is adjourned.